The story of Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 3 is incredibly important because out of it flows everything that we read following. And we've developed over the years terminology and language to describe kind of what's going on in this story. One of the most historic is the language of original sin. Adam and Eve in the garden eating the forbidden fruit. This is the story of original sin entering into the world and infecting kind of everything. And I wonder if that is a little bit of a misnomer and maybe takes us down a little bit of a wrong interpretive path, because there's a whole lot going on in this story, more than just Adam and Eve having an unwelcome snack. See, Genesis chapter 3 very much builds on what we read in Genesis chapter 1 and 2, which are the creation narratives. And in those narratives, we hear two really important things. Firstly, that humanity is created in God's image. Let us make humanity in our image, God says. God crafts humanity as an act of love and grace to exist in divine fellowship. And then God places Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden and says to them, you are free. You are free to eat anything that you want, to enjoy the boundless goodness of God. Now, yes, there is this tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and God says, do not eat of this tree. But importantly, God gives Adam and Eve all the pertinent information. Do not eat of this tree or you will die. God gives them what they need to know in order to live in unrestricted obedience. And so prior to the serpent, the identity of Adam and Eve is that they are created in God's image and they are created to enjoy the boundless goodness of God. That is who they are in that garden. But the serpent comes and sows doubt into that fundamental identity, undercuts everything that God had said. Did God really say you can't eat of any of the fruit of the garden? No, you will not die. God knows that when you eat of this tree, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God. See, what the serpent is doing is tempting Adam and Eve to consider that God is not actually good. That they are not created in God's image, they are created in oppression. That God has not put them in the garden to enjoy all of God's goodness. No, God is keeping the best things away from them. And so what the original temptation is for Adam and Eve to grasp an identity themselves, an identity that is not rooted in who they were created to be,